Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Hazard12 here, and today I am bringing you my first FIFA 22 video. I know it's a little bit late, I do apologise. I have been away the past week, so I didn't have a chance to record anything, but I've got a really exciting video today. I'm going to show you guys a custom tactic that I've had so much success with. I've had a really lot of fun playing with too. If you like it, then please do drop a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. But enough waffling, let's just get straight on into it. So, it's in the ultra attacking part of my custom tactics. Don't pay much attention to that. I was just messing around with a few different ones and it just fell into this little bit. So the first things first, in defensive style, I have press after possession loss. Now, I found that this to be a really effective way of playing on FIFA 22 this year. If I'm putting pressure on your opponent, especially quite high up the pitch, you can end up winning the ball back quite a lot. And also, with the defensive AI being a little bit more intelligent this year than last year, at least that's what I feel anyway, your players aren't really caught out of position all too much if your opponent does break through your midfield. So I have press after possession loss, and I have that in combination with a high depth. Now I have this on 85 at the moment. I am really liking using 85. It's not to say I'll change it again in the future. I've seen a lot of people actually play with 100 depth this year and having a bit of success with that too. I haven't tried 100 depth personally myself, as like I said. I took it to 85 and I've had a lot of success with 85, so I'm not going to change that as it stands. But if you guys want to experiment a little bit with that, then feel free. But like I said, in combination with the press after possession loss and a high depth, you find yourself winning the ball back really far up the field quite often. Now the offensive build-up play, it's going to be a bit boring, I'm afraid. It's going to be balanced for both build-up play and chance creation. I just feel like, whilst the game's still quite, new and we're all learning the best of the game, the mechanics and whatnot, I feel like balance is the best way to go because you can kind of pick and choose how you play. Obviously there's a lot more emphasis on passing this year, but I did try possession a few times and I just wasn't really creating an awful lot. I find that a lot of people are focused on how many passes they can do, how much possession they can hold, when in reality it's what you do when you actually have the ball. So I find that when you're on balance, you kind of pick and choose the kind of passes you want to make and the kind of runs you want to see. So yeah, I go with balance for both of them. Width, I just knock that up slightly to 55, just because you'll see from the formation in a moment that I just like having my forward players a little bit wider. And players in the box, I'll leave that on 7. You could go to 8 if you want, but I just leave it on 7 personally. Corners down to 3, free kicks down to 2, but again, that's personal preference. So the formation then, it's going to be a 4-3-2-1. It's very attacking, I feel. You get plenty of players forward at all times. The most important person in this role, and you're going to be a bit like, why have you got Lucas Moura in mid-centre mid? It's just vital that that right centre mid player is a good player going forward, and you'll see from the gameplay in a bit at the end of the video just how important he is and how many goals he scores. He's so fun to have an attacker player in that role, and the tactic works really well. So the other thing to notice then is that the two players next to him are quite defensive-minded players, Ndidi and Fabinho. That's because when you lose the ball, if you break down an attack and you've got that press possession after loss on, you're going to have two very good defensive players pressing the ball, and you're most likely to win the ball back with players like that. So yeah, the midfield maybe looks a bit unbalanced, but it works really well, trust me. So the actual player instructions themselves then, so we've got all three attackers with nothing else other than get in behind on. I want them making them runs in behind the defence. They're all rapid. Pace is obviously pretty key to this tactic because, like I said, it's all about getting in behind. And with players making those runs, then you're going to break defensive lines all the time. You'll see from the gameplay, it works a treat. We'll go over to Ndidi and Fabinho first and look at them. So they're both the same. They're going to stay back while attacking, stay on edge of the box for cross, and cover centre. The reason for this is, like I said, they're going to be the people that are going to be picking the ball up once you've broken the play down. If your attack doesn't quite work out, they're going to be the two players that are pressuring the ball straight away. And it's quite important, they're pretty good defensively. It works really well. I really enjoy having the kind of players that I've got, doing that role. And then, like I said, the most important person in this formation, and you'll see, like I said from the gameplay, is Lucas Moura. He's get forward, get into the box for cross, and also cover centre. He's always making late runs into the box. Aubameyang will hold the ball up. We'll do a bit of build-up play in between the front three, and all of a sudden, Lucas Moura will burst through into the box, and he'll find himself one-on-one, and it works so well. I'm not saying you have to have him in that role, but it's just someone who's good going forward. It helps if you've got someone who's a good finisher, because they do find themselves on the end of a few chances. I've had Lucas kind of mess up a couple of one-on-ones and stuff, so perhaps I should look at getting someone a little bit more in depth at finishing. But you just want someone good going forward and who can get into good positions. Everyone else I've left the same. I have had a fiddle with the fullbacks a little bit to have a look at, going forward or joining the attack or whatever. And I find that, like I said, with FIFA 22, it's a bit different. You can kind of pick and choose a bit more. I feel like you're in a bit more control of your build-up play than in FIFA 21. You're not just spamming through balls. If you want your fullbacks to join the attack, you can do it pretty easily, and you're not necessarily always in a rush for that to happen. They can join an attack a bit later on. They don't have to be at the forefront of every single attack. So you can kind of pick and choose in game when you want your fullbacks to go forward. That's just what I found works best at the moment. That could change. I know, the game's changing all the time, and new metas are always being found out. But for now, I found balance is the best way to leave them, and obviously centre back side, goalkeeper also on, the default settings. So that's the tactics, guys. I'm going to show you some gameplay now of the few games I played earlier, just so you can have a bit of a visualization of how the tactics work. And yeah, I'll catch you there. So then, guys, heading on into the gameplay then, and this tactic is going to be really, really fun for you guys to use if you do choose to use it. The gameplay in the background is just going to show what the kind of things I was talking about. I had a catalogue of things to choose through. I played so many games with it, but I decided to use these one in particular because it really shows just how well the tactic works in terms of Lucas getting into good positions and also winning the ball back high up the pitch. I did get the game 4 days early, but like I said, I did go away for a week, so I haven't really played it, before, whilst I was away, obviously. So there was a whole week of time where everyone else was playing and everyone getting used to the game, getting used to the mechanics, and obviously I wasn't. I fell behind the curve a little bit. So when I switched to this tactic, it was a real game changer for me. I found myself winning games a lot more often. I go as far to say as I think I've only lost 1 game using it, and I must have played way over 10. So it's tried and tested. It works really well for me. I really hope that everyone else gets the same kind of success with it if you do choose to use it. It's pretty simple in terms of the instructions. There isn't an awful lot of instructions on there, especially like I said with the defense. I've just left the defense completely. So it's not like, going to be super complicated to try and implement into your play or anything. It's just going to be pretty straightforward. The whole emphasis of this is really about making runs and trying to find positions in the box for your players to exploit. Defensively, you're not going to find yourself, incredibly short at the back. There wasn't very many times at all where, I was caught out with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is, and there always will be, because it's a game, and you're not going to win every game without conceding, and you're not going to win every game, by total domination with your opponent not having a shot. So there are going to be times with any tactic where obviously your opponent's going to break through or whatever. No tactic's going to stop that completely, but it's not going to be like a regular occurrence. Your players are going to be in position. One thing I would say is obviously with any FIFA or with anything in general, just don't run your centre backs out and you'll be fine. Because as soon as you start doing that, then obviously you're going to have a lot of space for your opponent to exploit. You'll see from the expected goals that I have left them in at half time. Like I said, it just shows that we're in total control of all the games at all times. And it's like I said, it's just such a fun tactic to use. It feels like a bit of a Jurgen Klopp Gegenpress kind of thing, which I find just really fun and obviously really effective too. But that's going to be everything, guys. So I do appreciate you sticking around and watching. If you like it, please do drop a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time.